Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Give me just a few moments as we need some time to get our guests in here tonight. Um, for those of you who have been keeping tabs, what's going to happen is here very shortly, we will be joined by both Johnny Romano and Brino Royce as we are going to do a pre match press conference for their upcoming bout at MomoCon. So, with that being said, uh, we are awaiting their arrival in the studio, and in which case we'll move it from there into here, live for everybody to see and enjoy. Um, these two had a lot to say when each other weren't around. So this time I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting to see what they say when the other one's on air with them, when they can actually communicate and converse with each other. Because if you didn't know, folks, the real way to communicate is not via a text or a Facebook Messenger. The real way to communicate is vocally. It's the best form of communication. There's no misconceptions there. That's why I prefer to do business in person. And for those of you who don't know how to do that properly, I'm sorry. Or anybody, or at least have a phone conversation. That way, nothing is missed. But you're talking verbally on the phone, or you're talking, uh, in person. That's the way to do things. So, like I said, we're currently waiting on our guests to arrive. Um, I have a feeling Brino's always fashionably late. That seems to be his mo of Brino's standard time, and I believe that that is the way to do business. So, oh well, somebody has joined the studio. Welcome, Mr. Romano. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, man. Can you hear me well?
Oh, I can hear you great, and you're actually clear. Did you wipe your screen?
No, I just think there's something. I'm so 90s, man. I still have a Razor phone. That's probably what it is.
Oh,
I'm
razor
joking.
phone.
I'm
No, I was
joking.
about to say the razors were in the 2000s, my friend.
I know, but
You know,
I
if you
could
had
have
said
said
the
like a,
Nokia, if you had
I
said the
could have said
Nokia, I would have bought that.
maybe a Saved by the Bell brick phone.
Yeah, dude, those things would be great though in a wrestling match. I really believe that.
Paul
Um,
Heyman style.
oh no, I mean the whole one that had the book bag. You remember the one with the
Oh
bag
yeah,
phones?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you hit somebody over there with that, you're gonna mash them up.
Right,
Um,
right.
let's see here. I am making one final quick one other adjustment here. There we go. That's what I need. Because as I said, we're waiting on Brino, and Brino's always fashionably late, man. Um, but at any rate, man, our interview the other night got some pretty good reviews. I'm not quite sure. I didn't actually go back and look at the numbers. I honestly don't check my numbers, unless somebody else asked me to. If they
Right.
ask me to compare them, or they want to know where they're at versus where I'm at, and I'm like, it's not important, but okay. It's not important to me, at least. You know, this is a labor of love, man. And it's a tax write off for anybody that doesn't know. Find you an accountant and get an LLC. Professional wrestlers do the same thing. You can LLC yourself, your gear, your travel, your food. If you go to dinner with a promotion or whatever, all of that becomes all of that becomes a write off.
Oh yeah,
And
you could
and
write
and
off.
guys, really,
You could write
yeah,
off
man.
Peacock. You could write off.
I mean, if you could figure out a way to convince them that that is film study, then
Mhm.
yes. But other than that, it's kind of difficult. But I got a buddy helping me with mine, and I'm like, bro, you need to write a program for this because I'm telling you, I know guys that would pay you a couple bucks to have the information, just
Right.
to help a brother out, and then paying him becomes a write off too.
There you
It's
go.
like it's a business expense. But
Yeah.
at any rate, I think we're about to be. Oh, it looks like he has just arrived. Welcome to the show, Mr. Brino Royce. How you doing, sir?
Gentlemen, good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man.
How are you guys doing
Fashionably,
tonight?
Doing
we're doing
good.
pretty
Doing
good.
good.
It's fashionably late there, Brino.
Well, look, when you the Rolls Royce of wrestling, the world's waiting on you. That's how it goes.
And yeah, I hear you. So, gentlemen, this weekend, MomoCon 2022 here in Atlanta, Georgia. You two are going to meet each other on Saturday, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
correct. Yes, sir.
All right. So with that being said, what I want to know is there any extra what do you guys how are you preparing going into this match? Let's start with that.
I'll let you take the wheel there, Brino. What do you have to say?
Well, so this match doesn't get any special treatment. I train for this match the same way I train for any match. We go through film. I'm gonna go through similar styles that my opponent goes through. I'm gonna wrestle those styles. I'm gonna train those styles, and I'm gonna prepare the best way I can.
Okay.
Mr. Romano?
I mean, I think it's a very similar attitude. I think lots of times I tend to have like a rope a dope kind of mentality. I can take a lot of punishment, and then when you slip up, that's when I, come in for the kill. So, don't think that it's just going to be, as some of your cohorts put it, like wipe the mat with me, or I forget some of the phrases they used, but as if it was just going to be a walk in the park. I think, and after we talked, I think we have like a mutual respect that you do understand, like, maybe I jumped the gun a little bit on that concept, but I look forward to us having one of the best matches on the card.
The best match on the card.
I I am genuinely more excited for this match than I am anything, but that's because I've had the opportunity to have conversations with the both of you. So, and me being a member of the press in this case, uh, I have to remain impartial as I can. So, uh, I've seen Brino in action before, Mr. Romano. I have yet to see you in action other than on film. Um, it's going to be a clash of styles because you are the more professional wrestling oriented, whereas Brino is the more professional athlete oriented. And that's going to make it a very interesting contest. For those of you out there in live land, as I'm going to call this, who don't understand the way a professional wrestling match really works, you put two guys together with similar styles, you got a good chance it's going to go pretty good. But when you put two people with very contrasting uh, lineages, very contrasting styles, and outlooks on the business, you get one of two things. You either get absolute magic or you get a train wreck. But in most cases, it turns out to be really special. So as I said, I'm very interested to see how this pans out. We will be there. Uh, I don't know that the matches will be broadcast live. I don't know anything about any of this. That is not up for me to decide. I will be told what the Wrestling Wire is allowed to do there. But moving on into that, so you both of you have prepared as best you can. What do you feel is your reason to win this? Romano, you
Let
go
Ramon,
first this time.
let's let Romano take this one.
All right, thank you, sir. Well, I mean, I would say at
You're
this
welcome.
stage of my career, at this point, you know, I'm trying to prove I still belong. I'm trying. I don't want to be the older guy in the locker room, who everybody's like, they feel pity for, they feel sorry for. I want to say, no, he can still go with the 20-year-old. I watched some of Reno's stuff. I think he's a very talented guy, and I want to say, like, I can still hang with these guys. I don't want to just rest on, just being around and like that kind of deal. So that's a reason to really want to win, and win, lose or draw, to just hang in there and just say like, hey Romano, hey, he's still got it. He can still hang with the best of them. So that's my reasoning.
Reno?
Well, I was watching Romano's Johnny, your interview the other night. Was that Friday night? And I was really transfixed with the part where you were saying that kind of at the making and below level that your area is forgotten. And I'm coming to prove that not only should it be forgotten, but that may be for the best. You are all about remembering. I'm all about wrestling, and I think together this match is necessary because maybe people will remember to wrestle in wrestling. And after that is all said and done, 1, 2, 3, I give you the graceful exit from the business that you deserve. You shake my hand and you go on your way.
Wow.
All right.
Now, the agreement has already been made between you two. There was an agreement made during, I believe it was Mr. Romano's interview, that the loser will shake the hand of the winner and show their respect. Now, the question is going to be this, because now it's back to you, Brino Royce, for answering first. If you do lose, can you uphold your end of the deal?
Look, Brino is a sport-driven person, business-driven person, first and foremost, a respect-driven person. And as long as Romano honors the mat, as I do, my hand will be shaken, regardless.
I think you're still like you're implicating that there's no way. You're trying to say it without saying it, that there's no way you're going to lose.
Oh, no, not at all.
Anything can happen on any given night, and I've been doubted before, and I've beat guys that thought they just were going to have their way with me and be like that. So I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm not
It's not a
saying you're going
personal
to win.
thing.
I'm saying that, let me finish, sir. At any given moment, anybody can lose. So just understand that at any moment that you give me that opportunity, yes, you're probably watching my stuff and you're thinking, oh, this is this dancing guy. This is this nostalgic guy. That's all he's about. But if you watch after the entrance, you see, wow, okay, this dude can really go. You give me that one opportunity of slipping up, just slip up once, and we'll see how it goes. But to come back to the question at the end of it, I'll shake your hand whether my shoulders are on the mat or your shoulders on the mat. A handshake will happen at the very end out of respect for not only us, but for professional wrestling itself.
That and and the respect of this show, which the agreement was made on. We try not to present falsehoods here, right?
Yes, sir.
So, with that being said, I want to make something clear to the audience who's commenting in. So the time for questions or statements from the audience will come in at the end of the standard questions from the pre-match press conference. So there is a desire in this industry that's been shared by a handful of individuals, and those individuals and I have communicated this. We want to bring the professional back in professional wrestling. I like what we're doing here. I think this is a phenomenal idea. I did not come up with this idea. I don't think. I don't remember. But anyway, when it comes down to it, MomoCon itself is going to be a huge event. 300,000 people are expected to travel into these halls in 4 days. You two are slated to have one of the matches that is going to steal the show. I want you to put those numbers into your head. If you take the 300,000 and divide it by 4, you're talking still, just under 100,000 per day. You're talking in the 80,000 range per day of people, just under 80, about 70 in a piece. I'll be generous. But if you're looking at it in that light, how can you walk into this event with the confidence you have, knowing what this could mean for you? 70,000 people have the ability to be there on that Saturday to see you perform. 70,000 is larger than any crowd that AEW has drawn yet. 77,000 was this year's WrestleMania attendance for one day. Now, I want you both to tell me how you feel or how your confidence feels going into that, knowing that many people could have their eyes on you. I believe it's Romano's turn to speak first.
It is Romano's turn.
Of course, you're taught to wrestle. You go hard, whether there's 10 paying customers or there's thousands. That's just because every fan deserves to have the best of you. You don't cut any corners. But it hypes me up. Of course, you're gonna have butterflies. But I remember hearing an interview when Taz retired. He talked about he retired not because he couldn't go anymore, but because he didn't have the butterflies anymore. It just became monotone to walk through the curtain. And that's never the case for me. From the moment I had my first match at 18 years old in 2003, all the way to when we go Saturday and beyond, Brino, because I'm still going to be trucking. I love this business. So if there's that many people, that's going to give me this adrenaline rush, this superpower strength to just deliver the very best performance I can. It's not about like whether it's going to give me some mainstream attention. Hey, that'd be great for both of us, man. That would be wonderful. It's more so that the idea of performing in front of that many people is probably a once in a lifetime thing for both of us. So I look forward to that, and I think it's just going to hype both of us. I would not answer for you, but I think that's going to drive us to give that much more that night than a normal match.
Is it Brino's turn now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's on you, Brino.
All right, so the first part of being a professional, as I was trained, is there is no amount of adrenaline, butterflies, or anything that should influence the performance, period. Brino gives 100%, whether there's one person in training or whether there's a million crowds around the ring. I don't care. I'm not here for the people. I'm not here for the mainstream attention. That'll come naturally. Brino is money. I don't need extra clout. I'm coming in to do a job because I signed a contract and I'm a professional and I'm going to deliver on what I signed to do, period. No extra adrenaline, no extra emotion. I'm coming to do a job. And when the check clears and the money hits Brino's everlasting account, you best believe that job is going to get done.
Now, this is a realism question for the both of you. Brino, what is the largest crowd you have ever performed in front of at this stage?
Is this wrestling or just performing
wrestling
in general?
Wrestling only.
Okay.
Wrestling only.
Okay.
I'm correcting
You know,
that.
Brino's been around in performance art for a while now. Let's see. Where were we? About, I'm gonna say in front of the fair crowd, about 1,000, 1,200 people when I wrestled Ricky Morton.
Okay. Johnny Romano, same question.
I would say about 1,500 to 2,000. It's at a racetrack, but like most average ones were that 400 to 500. But of course, we've wrestled in front of. The longer you're in this, man, you'll get used to those. Where the joke was, what New Jack say, like where the fans were dressed up as chairs. So, but
Yeah.
I would say about 1,500 to 2,000 was the most. So yeah, this will be a big jump.
Yeah, that's a huge percentage jump when you look at the numbers. I'm
Yeah.
a numbers guy. Percentages are kind of my thing. I like those best. Um, Now, among all the other matches that are occurring this weekend, up to and including seeing some legends in presence, whether they get in the ring and do something or not is irrelevant. What makes you two believe that you're going to steal the show? Mr. Romano, you lead this one.
I think that we're putting the elements of what pro wrestling is into this match if we want to pull back the curtain. But I think that and the main thing about pro wrestling is that we talked about this in the previous podcast. You have to care, and I care, and if I care, hopefully it goes to the fans that they care about. You're not seeing anybody else on that card. No offense to anybody on that card. I mean, no disrespect to anybody else. And I know a lot of the guys, a lot of my friends. But who is trying to make this mean something? Who is trying to put this element of, okay, this is gonna have some magic to it? Me and Brino. And love him, hate him. He can love me or hate me. He can dislike me. He can block me on Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, all of it. We are doing something that is what you're supposed to be doing. We're making them care about this. We're making those 300,000 people can do a lot of things that weekend. And hopefully we're putting out there, you know what, I want to see these two guys. I don't really know this guy, or I don't know this guy, or I kind of know this guy, or I don't know nothing about either one of them. But you know what? They sound like they're really going to be pretty entertaining and, put on a great wrestling match. So that's my take.
Rito?
What was the question?
All right. The question was, because we're having so many legends and other matchups across the 4 days at this event, MomoCon. I say we. Stranglehold Championship Wrestling is hosting the wrestling there. Because of all the other things, what is going to make your match stand out?
Well, so first I'm gonna agree with everything Johnny just said. I think more than anything, to the legends, maybe specifically, I hope this is what they want, because I think Johnny and I both encapsulate what professional wrestling is. Like, he is the nostalgia. He is all about respecting the past, respecting everything that came before. I'm all about the fundamentals. I'm all about doing it technically sound. I'm all about the professionalism and the sport of professional wrestling. So I think both of those two things together encapsulate perfectly what this is. So whether or not we like each other, this match is going to be beneficial to the industry.
Very good. Now, considering we're coming up on, it's crazy how quickly this evolved from just one interview to, oh, I need to have something to say in the second interview, to now a press conference. The evolution of progress here is what we're seeing. This is how things really should get done. I'm trying not to pay attention to the person moving behind Brino's shoulder. Sorry, man.
As
But
Office Stooges, we're good.
Office Stooges. Oh, they're your helpers. Gotcha.
Absolutely. This is the staff.
Ah, okay. That's one of your research and development people. Gotcha. Uh, so
Might be a janitor.
could be. Who knows, man? But given the fact that you know it seems like a lot of pressure is being put on you two as well, and it's been deemed that by both, not just each other, but also outsiders involved, whether they be in your wrestling organizations or your managerial roles, or managerial persons who represent you. Uh, but it seems like you guys have got a lot of pressure on there. And how's that pressure hitting? I believe Brino starts this one.
Um, I feel like it is only pressure if you don't see some kind of good coming out of it. At the very least, I get to learn from a bit, you know. So I mean, there's not much pressure if it's something I love to do. I love to wrestle. Whether or not I have an opponent, I'm training every week. I'm learning something new every week. I'm going out and picking and choosing from film and adding new things to my game every week, regardless. So I don't feel pressure to go out and do something I love.
All right, Mr. Romano.
First of all, thank you for that compliment, but I will say that sometimes pressure is good, man. That's how diamonds are made. Like I feel like that's what, when you say you don't have butterflies or you don't have that, I do. And that's what drives me, especially being the guy that was never supposed to be able to do this. When I started out, even though the world of wrestling had smaller guys, it was still harder. It's a lot easier for a smaller guy to get into this business now, and almost about, I'd say, half of the roster. Uh, but my butterflies and that pressure is what makes me I got to perform. Like, if I have an okay match, I beat myself up about it. I drive home thinking about it. I sleep on it, knowing that nobody's perfect, knowing that things are not going to go always right. Whoever your favorite wrestler is, I guarantee if we watch long enough, we can see something where we go, oh, that didn't go right. But that's what drives me is that pressure, is, oh, we're going to wrestle in front of thousands of people. Who could be watching? Or just wanting to have, again, I said at this stage of my career, especially coming back from the pandemic, and though I had my entire wrestling career, I very rarely ever had weekends off. Took away from my kids and all that. So having those 6-7 months, maybe 8 months or so of no wrestling at all, was good for my head, good for my mental stability, good for my family. But it also made me think, oh my God, this could be taken away from me at any moment. So at this stage of my career, I want to sink my teeth into things that make me feel creative. This is making me feel creative. This is why that 5-year-old who watched Monday Night Raw in '93 and saw 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon wanted to do this. So that pressure sometimes is needed to help you excel to that next level. So I thrive on the pressure.
Very good. All right, gentlemen, we're going to catch up on some comments here. So,
Let's do it.
if any of the fans out there watching in live land, if any of you have questions, comments, concerns, or comedy, go ahead and send it in, and we will filter through. Young Zaylen Harris says, "Hey," he was just chiming in to say, "Hey."
Hey.
Takes him an hour to put on his Rolex and send his wait staff home. That's why Brino was late. Oh man, gentlemen, how are you? From Ricky Owens. So,
Ricky, how are you,
Hi,
buddy?
Ricky.
I look forward to meeting this guy this weekend as well. Brino stays ready. Here we go. Rule number 1: never underestimate your opponent. That is from the great mind of Bill Hazelwood. If you don't know who Bill
Who's
Hazelwood is,
underestimating anything?
what?
I think he means in general.
I said, who is underestimating anything?
I think he means that in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
For anybody who doesn't know who Bill Hazelwood is, you're living under a rock. and that rock is at the bottom of the Atlantic. So realistically, that dude's been around independent professional wrestling and professional wrestling in general for over the last 20 years. He's been in business for about 40. The guy knows his stuff. And I whenever I do get the chance to have a conversation with Bill Hazelwood, if it happens on air, it's always money because like he pops my ratings.
Yeah.
But it's always a learning experience anytime I'm around Bill. So, and I appreciate everything he's ever given me as a mentor in this industry. Um, Christian McCotter, Brino in 4.
Yes,
Brino
sir.
in 4 minutes. Okay. That's still in the feeling out process for Brino. I don't know what we're talking about with 4 minutes. Scott Larson said, rule number 2, if you start getting your butt kicked, go back to rule number 1. That works out well, Scott. For anybody who doesn't know, this is Mr. Independent Wrestling Podcast, Mr. Scott Larson. He
Hey,
runs
Scott.
hashtag truth. And if you ever, Johnny Romano, you ever get the chance to talk to this guy, man, he's got a passion for independent wrestling like no other, man.
Love
He's
to.
he's a hell of a good cat. I've had the honor of attending a couple wrestling shows with him, and man, it's always good conversation. The guy's an encyclopedia. Ace Harris says, "Let's go, Brino Royce."
Ace, what's good, baby?
Ace Harris. Oh man, I have a feeling I'll be seeing Mr. Harris this week before I head to Georgia. Let's see here. Marquis McQueen says, "I smell mango season." You know, I just noticed that Marqueen is a wrestler with him skateboarding in his profile pic.
That's about to
That's
be a t-shirt. That's a
yeah,
t-shirt.
that
I was
should be a
Marquis,
about to
we'll get
t-shirt.
you
say.
your 10. We'll get you your 10%, baby. That's going on the Brino shirt.
Okay, that's got to be a t-shirt. Yeah, that looks good. Um, yeah, I know. Really? Are you sure that's you? Good God. Hey man, do you want to borrow some of my DVDs so you can see what I looked like 20 years ago riding a skateboard? Good
Mango
grief.
season.
Man. Yeah. Let's see here. Poor Johnny is the visiting team here.
It's all good. I told you I thrive under that pressure. That's fine.
And that's Michael King of King Enterprises, currently not representing Mr. Royce. Brino, is there any update on your contract while we're here?
No signing yet. We have a tentative agreement that may or may not be signed Saturday. We're just still trying to work out those last little wrinkles in the original contract. But I do have a pretty nice signing bonus. I don't know if y'all can see this gold and black crystal tie clip. So look, I'm being courted very well. So we may have something done inked in by Saturday. We'll see.
All right, so there is a tentative deal in place, which means that Michael King is still your representation going into this weekend. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir, but there are some things that weren't included in the previous contract. Like there's a lot more freedom. We are more partners than representation right now.
Right. I'm just trying to make sure he's still in the. I'm just
Oh
making
yeah,
sure he's
he's in the
still
loop.
in
Mike
the.
is in the loop.
Okay, he's still in the game here. Okay, that's why I'm trying to keep.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, look, I'm not privy to the private conversations of King Enterprises and what they do.
No,
I'm
you're doing your
sure
job. You're doing your job as a journalist. Ask.
at some point in time, Mr. King will enlighten us all on a live stream.
Absolutely.
Uh, may even have to do it on the Wrestling Wire. Who knows how that's going to go? But let's see here. Marquine said yes, talking about his skateboard picture that was 3 years ago. Pressure makes diamonds, but gold don't fold. Brother, I don't know if you've ever handled real raw gold, but yeah, it does. You actually roll gold in your hand and mold it. That's not fake. I There's a jewelry store right here in downtown Spartanburg, and that dude will fold gold like there's no tomorrow. Um, I was in there watching him do it while I was fixing his cable.
That's another
Or
T-shirt.
whatever, fixing
I
his
was about to
internet.
say,
I don't
man,
remember.
it seems like people are trying to make your pro wrestling tee store for you, man.
Look, the money is coming in tonight.
Hey, well, we still got an idea to pop for a special young lady that we're working on too, but we'll figure that one out later at later days. We may have to, you know what? I may have to ask a couple people outside of this interview, some opinions on that. We got to come up with something good for that one. Chris Fleet says, "Brothers, y'all have one hell of a show. I hate I can't be there. Please get a video of y'all's match." Chris, I will do whatever. I am being summoned. What is this? It's getting on my nerves, that's for sure. But I am being plagued by messages being sent. Okay. So it is not relevant to the conversation. I was unaware of what it was. But yes, Chris, I will do my best to see that we can get that. I can't guarantee it because it's MomoCon's a paid event. I have no idea how that's going to shape out. Okay. So I make no promises, but I do say I will put effort to it. Michael King, the foundations of the contract are in place. We have some minor details to work out. King Enterprises is confident a signing will occur by May 28th, 2022. All right. Very good. Well, what we're going to do is this. At this point in the game, gentlemen, I'm going to open up the floor to each of you. Your closing remarks. Reno?
No, let's let Johnny go. I think he has something to say. He's postured up like he's got something to say.
Okay.
I
He was
appreciate
leaned in
it.
kind of close.
I want to be part of the conversation. I really want to vibe off of both of y'all. I'll say, Reno, I think after you hearing the podcast before, you kind of reevaluated how you viewed me. I think you just thought, okay, this is some long haired punk that is just, I don't know this dude, and that's another thing that made me think at first. I was like, man, did he even try to look up who I was to do any kind of thing? I did on you, so I knew going into the podcast who you were, and I respected you. And I think we're at a stage now that we have a mutual respect. And you even said, I like how you put it, is that we're almost the yin and yang. We're the two links of what pro wrestling is. You're the sport, I'm the entertainment. But I can still bring the sport aspect of it. I was trained under, Hall of Famers, man. I don't, my pedigree speaks for itself of who I was trained under and who I've learned from, but I still like to have a good time. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to have a newfound respect for each other at the end of this, win, lose, or draw. I think you have a more of a respect for me now than you did going into when the match was announced. And I look forward to facing you, man. I look forward to us, regardless of anything, creating a memory that will, above everything else. You said, like, well, you don't care about the fans. I do. I do care about the fans because I want them to leave with something special. But at the end of the day, I still do this because I love it. So I think you and me are going to make some magic, and we're going to make a memory that'll last ourselves a lifetime. And I look forward to Saturday, and may the best man win.
Cool. So, something I want to clear up real quick. There was never a lack of respect between the two of us. I don't think so. Every hunter with morals respects his prey. I mean, nobody goes out and just kills just to do it. Nobody takes life just to do it. You are food on the table. You are a new suit. You are a new watch, a new ring. You are providing what my estate runs on. So there was never, ever a lack of respect. What's that? You just look like you got something to say. What is it?
I just feel like, maybe I like the words you're saying, but I think you're saying the right things now. I think beforehand you kind of got a little boastful about how easy this may have been. And I think
No, no,
now
no,
you're
not
like,
easy.
okay,
And look, I don't enjoy things being easy. See, there's a little theory I had when we're getting back to the wrestling and professionalism thing and just how we promo, how we cut promos. If I talk about how much somebody sucks, how stupid somebody is, how weak somebody is, if I beat them, what does that make me?
nothing.
I don't need this to be easy.
Right.
I don't care about it being easy. I can do this all day. Word to Steve Rogers. Look, I don't want this to be easy, and I know you got that reference, and that's actually another pun saying you understood that reference because of Captain America, whatever. But I'm gonna have very much honor in having you shake my hand after the applause has been done. The medical staff can put a stent on your hand so you can actually move it. I look forward to that handshake.
See, there's where it comes in. It's like you give the little bit of like sincerity, and then you gotta take that little jab on it with it, and that's your banana peel, because you're gonna do that actually in the match, something of that nature, and then when I win, you're gonna be like, whoa, what just happened? What I had him beat. And there'll probably be times where you think you have me beat, but you're going to make a mistake. And that's where I'm going to capitalize. And then you're going to shake my hand.
What makes you think I'll make a mistake? Where's this coming from? I'm not getting paid to make mistakes, Johnny.
You talk about the respect aspect of it, but with every end of the sentence, oh, you're going to have a stent in my arm. Oh, they're going to have, I'm going to have medical care and this and that and the other.
And look, and that's not opinion. If you look at who I wrestle, you look at my matches, I'm going to manipulate whatever joint I choose. I'm going to twist it until the referee pulls me off of you. That is every match I wrestle. You are no different. You are not special. And that is the entire point. I'm not overestimating you. I am equally estimating
Underestimating
you.
me.
I am thoroughly estimating you. It's math.
I just
Everyone
think
who wrestles Brino gets twisted up. Period. It's not an opinion. It's just what happens. Go watch the footage.
I'll watch the footage. I've seen you, man, and I respect everything you do in that ring. I just think sometimes our attitude, our words can overspeak our actions. And let's see if those words that you speak can follow through this Saturday.
Ron, what else you got?
Oh, seems like we're getting a little frustrated now. We were all having a good time, but now you seem a little bit perturbed. You seem a little flustered.
Oh, he's using his thesaurus words. He's been watching my stuff.
I got to keep up with. I got a word today calendar to keep up with you, man, because I wanted to make sure we had good convo going on. But you do seem like you're a little irritated now that I'm bringing up that I'm saying like, hey, man, you talk and you talk and you talk, which is fine because talking gets people into building. But guess what, man? The bell has to ring, because that's what people do with me, because they see the entrance and they go, oh, okay, what's this dude got going on? But then the bell has to ring, and then I have to deliver, or I'm out. You have talked such a great game, man. You are on point with that. When we get there and the bell rings, we'll see how it goes.
But see, this is my entire point. Brino's already got it mapped out. There is no seeing how it goes. I've already been paid. I've already done the training. I've already done the scouting. I've already watched the film, and there is a plan, and the plan will be executed regardless. The only way you win is if I don't show up. Period.
Oh, so you're saying indefinitely you're gonna win. Okay. See, I don't speak that into existence, because things happen in life, man, and you just never know. And Anybody can beat anybody on any given night.
See,
Maybe
it sounds to me like you are in the business of letting things happen. I'm in the business of making things happen. You do what you want. You underestimate. You see, what you're doing is gaslighting. You keep saying I'm doing the underestimating, but it's really you.
not at all. I think you're gonna give me one of the best matches I've had in my 19 years. I think you're
And you're
gonna
right. You're
test me to the
correct.
limit.
You're correct. You're
So
absolutely
that's where
correct.
we respect each other on that. I am saying that at any given moment in that squared circle, any one of us have the opportunity to win, and it's just not going to be, a walk in the park. So before we get overly heated, because I think we're being gentlemen right now, but I can see like your cadence and how you seem, just how you're vibing. I don't want us to get to that point. Because honestly, if you get to that point, that's what's going to happen. How you're acting and you're getting boastful and you're getting agitated. This is where you make your mistakes. So if you bring this Brino Saturday, I think it's a safe bet how this will go.
So you keep speaking as if Brino makes mistakes, and that's where we have a disconnect. I don't know where that's coming from.
Hey man, no man's perfect.
Brino ain't a man, baby. He's a Rolls Royce.
All right. We'll see, man. I think you've said all you can say.
Look, here's the thing. You'll see.
Okay.
I know what's going to happen. There are no moments that are unaccounted for. It is all planned, it is all written, and it's going to be executed to
Well,
perfection.
you talk about how you've already got paid, but the fact is the old adage is you get paid to play, but you get paid more to win. You get the winner's share of the purse. So that's what we're both going after, right? And I think you're just automatically thinking, all right, it's a sealed deal and that's it. We'll see. We'll see, man. Like, I am now looking forward to this match way more than before this podcast started because I feel it. You're making me thrive. You're giving me that pressure. You're hyping me up, man. I'm feeling it. And you're laughing. See, this is where it comes into play that I'm like, okay, he's just like every other guy that's going to underestimate me. A talented guy, a guy that I know I can see you going very far in this industry. I know you will, man. I see it. But I'm not going to be your stepping stone. This Saturday, I'm out to prove something for not you, not this show, not the fans even. I'm out to prove something for myself that I still belong at 19 years in this game. So with that said, man, win, lose, or draw, when we both get up and you're hurting and I'm hurting,
when you get up,
we'll shake each other's hand.
I look forward to you shaking my hand, Johnny. I do.
You're going to be the one putting it out
do.
first.
That's cute.
Thank you.
Well,
always
gonna add in a few comments here, and then I have a point I'd like to bring up to both of you gentlemen. Someone seems scared to me. This is Brandon Chuck Brown. He was one of the MCs at the event we were at this last weekend with Connected Entertainment and Wellness Center, the Wrestling Extravaganza, which we attended Sunday. Let's see here. Chris Blees says, Brino, let the horses run, son. Mr. Romano doesn't understand true horsepower, but he will soon enough.
Look, let's pause for a second before you keep reading. Let's pause. We can keep reading these catchphrases that can go on T-shirts all day long. You can keep bringing in your cronies into the chat room all day long. It doesn't matter to me if any of these people, we can role reverse this all we want to. I don't care. You can have all these shirts made for your Pro Wrestling Tees store all you want, but at the end of the day, Brino, see, I'm getting passionate now, man. It's going to be you and me and all these other people talking all this trash, putting all these catchphrases in the chat room. Ain't going to mean nothing when that bell rings. Do you understand? Am I clear now?
See, I think what you don't understand is I told you before, I don't care about the people. This is not an added factor for me. This is press. This is two men going on to promote a wrestling contest. Nothing changes after the bell. I mean, and I just find it funny that you wanted to call out catchphrases since you are like the catchphrase guy. Just a little bit more hypocrisy that I'm seeing like from your show Friday, but continue, please carry on.
Well,
Now, we'll let the host carry on, man. Go ahead. My apologies.
oh, no problem. This is probably the most respectful podcast I've ever done. So, I mean, for everybody out there, this is not the norm. And, the kids can watch this one. This one's safe so far. Keyword being so far. Michael King spoke up and said the silence in the comments section tells everything. Oh, the silence in this room is deafening because the intensity is so thick you could cut it with a knife. There's nothing different about that. And Brandon Chuck Brown spoke up very respectful. Well, thank you. This is not the norm for my show, as you know, because I'm sure you rewatched Sunday, which thanks again. We had a great time. Now, Mr. Romano, to correct you on one point and one point only, you said cronies in the chat room. This is an open forum. There are, my Facebook page, my work page, and a page that's got 100,000 plus around the world that tune in. There's no cronies. These people just go by what they see. Now, some of these people may know Brino or may know me in real life. That's not wrong. Some of these people out there may know you in real life. That's also not wrong. But my point is this, the comments that are coming in, it seems like if anybody's being quiet, it's your side of the game here. That's just me bringing that up. The people that are supporting Brino have spoken. Now, that's all I was going to say on that fact. Now, you also brought up Pro Wrestling T Store. Their percentages suck. I would. No, actually, I don't know that to be factual. That was me being funny. So I have no idea what their percentages are. I would rather hire and produce my own stuff than I would somebody else distribute for me. But it seems as though pretty much everything that has or that needs to be said has been said. So now it's time for the closing statements, gentlemen.
Well, I'll keep this short and sweet because I feel like, as I call it, my Romano ramblings, I can kind of go on long, but I'll say it this way. I have kind of a Dr. Hyde, Jekyll complex where, there's one side of me that's the fun-loving guy, it's the nostalgic guy, it's the, pop music, bubblegum, all that, the 90s guy. But there's that other side of me that gets pushed too far to where I just have this like snapping part. And you're getting really close to pushing me to that side of me. And if you want to bring that one out, bell ring, that's the one you'll get. And above other guys have done that, and it hasn't ended well for them. I highly respect who you are, man. And hell of an athlete, hell of a pro wrestler, guy who has a hell of a career, on his way. But I just feel an element of disrespect coming your way with like little jabs. I know you respect me because I respect you, but you want to try to get these little funny, whimsical things in on every little turn. If you want it, you'll get a different side of me this Saturday. And let's just do it. Let's just stop talking. You say what you got to say. End it with some clever, puns or whatever you need to do. And this Saturday, we'll just fight.
We'll fight. So I'm going to agree with what you're saying about the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. I think I have the same thing. You got the cameras, the lights, the watches, the suits, the ties, whatever. But in the ring, you're dealing with a third generation athlete. A 3-sport athlete, one that does not give a damn about emotion, one does that not give a damn about adrenaline. I perform regardless. What I mentioned about you earlier is that we make the perfect match. The sport, you are the entertainment, but you are important. And the reason this match is important because in front of an audience this big, with my mission in wrestling, you are exactly what I need to eliminate from this industry. After this, I'm going to reduce you to conventions, meet and greets, but I'm going to take you from where you belong, which is the ring. I'm going to relieve you of that. I'm going to give you the exit that you deserve, Johnny. Look at me, please. I'm going to give you the exit from this business that you deserve. And should I decide not to break your hand, you can get up and shake mine. I do what I want, you do what you can, and that's the end of it.
Talk.
Uh, and Brino has left the building. And that's like he's not even in backstage studio anymore. Well, I kind of wish I had said the last thing I had to say before he exited, but it's okay. I wanted to remind the both of you of one simple fact. A lot of people say that Ric Flair is the greatest of all time, right? How many times was he world champion? 19? 20, well, 21 or 22 if you go through all the history books properly.
I know where you're going with this.
That means he had
I
to
know
lose it.
exactly where you're going with this.
That means
He
he
was
had to lose
21.
that
He
many
was
times.
21-time champion. He had to. He lost it 22 times then. All right.
Yep.
So I mean, any man can be defeated. And I was real close to having a very snapping moment, but I composed myself when him talking about what he's going to eliminate me. I decide how my journey is going to end, not Brino. I'm going to be standing whether I win, lose, or draw this Saturday. But I think it's time to teach a young guy a lesson as well. And this Saturday, he's going to get a lesson that he long deserved, apparently.
I understand. Well, Mr. Romano, the last thing I got to add is this. You can have the greatest match ever. You can do everything right. But all it takes is 3 seconds.
That's it.
All it takes is 3 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an exclusive pre-match press conference. And on Saturday, see what happens at the show. MomoCon 2022, Atlanta, Georgia. Hell, he left before I even got to share this. I was just given an exclusive. Do you know what I'm about to show you?
No,
You know
sir.
what I was given privately?
What's
wait
that?
Wait till you see this. This was just dropped. Now that is a match poster.
That says it all right there. I think polar opposites, but two trained pro wrestlers who have a desire to want to be the best. And despite the comments that were made, I have a hell of a lot of respect for Brino, and that right there shows what it's all about. So this Saturday, Brino, I know you're still listening, man. You had to leave and you felt like you got your 2 cents in, but hey, this Saturday, we'll see how it goes down because I think you crossed the line a little bit with those last few comments.
Well, I now discovered where that poster came from. Thank you, Michael King, King Enterprises, World Elite, Vietnam Pro Wrestling, the Asian sensation himself. Man, look, for anybody who doesn't know, the information's right there in front of you. The Georgia World Congress Center, 285 Andrew Young International Boulevard, Northwest in Atlanta, Georgia. Folks, wrestling starts what, 1 o'clock, Johnny? 1 o'clock for
Yeah.
Block A?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
All right. I'll be arriving sometime that morning. I have yet to make my final arrangements for when I'll be heading there, but I will be arriving that morning. So just try to, if you don't, I will buzz Mr. Nelson myself just to let him know when I'm en route, because I have a
Definitely.
feeling this is going to be a hell of a show. I'm really excited to be there, and you know, I am grateful for the invite from Mr. Nelson. Um, Odd things happen in this industry, brother. It really does. But either way, Mr. Romano, I look forward to seeing you in person. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to this matchup.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming up on that last 30 seconds here. Peace be the journey, says Michael King. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Glad you had a safe journey back east, and we will be seeing you very soon. So, for everybody from the real wrestling community, the Saint, myself, Ron Emerson, thank you all and good night.